Welcome, Atlanta United family, to another episode of Resurge Spike ATL, presented to you by FILA Sports Podcast. Here again with Tommy. Um, Before we get to anything, there are social media platforms out there, right above us. On Twitter, Instagram, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Go follow us. Share our content out. Um, and before, I don't know. I know we really didn't talk about this, Tommy, but the 3-0 loss to Colorado. I mean, that was bad. I mean, that was a bad performance overall. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, we know we didn't have a full squad, but what can you take away from that?
I think we kind of knew we were going to lose before the game started, right? We found out Alonso was being held out due to possible heart issues, which we later find out that he's okay to play this week. But you don't mess around with health in Colorado. There's been some players with other types of sicknesses that have kept them from playing, in Denver. The Denver Broncos have had, players coming into Denver not being able to play. And then you also had players in hockey that play the Avalanche that aren't able to play due to certain health issues. So maybe, hopefully it was just them being careful. But once you knew that George Campbell had to come in and play that role that he played last season, where basically playing that defensive midfielder, I think we knew that we were going to be in trouble. And it just went bad from there. Like the first 5-10 minutes, we had some chances. And I think really, the only legitimate chance I remember early on was Tyler Wolf coming in, and he tried to take a shot, and it was weak. It was very weak. Probably Araujo would have scored it. Moreno probably could have scored on that chance. Amada probably could have scored, but Tyler had nothing on it. So that really hurt us, I think, right there. Like that was our big chance to take the lead early on. And then it just got bad. Colorado took over possession. Joseph had one opportunity after it was already 1-0, and he just skied it over the net. And then I think he had another opportunity where I think right before half where he just missed the ball. Like it got right to the box and he just couldn't handle the ball, and it got away from him, and no scoring chance. And that was it. Like there really just wasn't much else to talk about. Stupid yellows. I thought that
Yeah.
Robinson taking that second yellow in the second half was just silly. You were already down 3-0 at that point. Why go and do that? So I think they lost their heads, and it's early in the season, and I don't think that this match will hurt them. It was a non-conference game, which is always good when you lose 3-0. You'd rather it be to someone else in the Western Conference. So I think it's just move on from this game and look to the bright side that it's over. And I think we're talking about it here, but we're getting close to being healthy, and it's out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah, like really, like this week, what we got Mulroney back, Sosa back, Armada came in, also Ozzy Alonso, got, basically approval, to start training with the team again. So, I mean, that's what, 6 guys right there, or 5, 6 guys that, and all of them are pretty much starters on the team. So, except Mulroney, but. I mean, you look at it, and I mean, like you said, this really came out of nowhere, and I mean, there's a lot of especially mostly on Twitter, I see, the whole thing whether Ahmad is starting. We saw him at training. Well, we knew that he was at training today, training with the team, but that's the big, debate whether he's ready to go to start and play the 90 minutes or just 60 minutes, or what was gonna how the game develops. I feel like that's gonna, but I see him starting. I definitely see him starting. What about you? You think he goes with?
I'd say let's look at Moreno and see if
Mm.
Moreno is able to start, and let's go from there. Because I think if Moreno starts, there's a little less pressure to maybe put Almada in. It sounds like Alonso is going to be able to start, which is fantastic. It sounds like he'd been training most of the week, from my at least understanding, but it's just he hasn't officially been cleared. So you could see Alonso come in. We might see Sosa, be able to start as well. I honestly think that we could see a Sosa come in off the bench, a Almada come off the bench, and possibly Mulroney, winning or losing. I could see them, being up 2-0 or 3-0 and being able to bring all those guys in just to get them some minutes, be able to get them comfortable into the game. Because obviously we've seen with one part, I guess we missed that game was the Alan Franco disaster of
Oh yeah,
2022.
yes, yeah. That
I
first
guess we
half was
missed.
horrible.
I've been
Yeah.
trying to ignore. I just tried to forget the game. So it's Friday
I
already. So
did, I did too, but I mean, like, we really didn't discover. We haven't really been on, since the
it's
last
bad.
game of it. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you try to avoid it honestly, and uh, but it is what it is. But I mean, what a luxury to have, guys like that coming off the bench, after the depth issue that we had last year. Honestly, I mean, that's crazy. That's really crazy. The names that you just gave me to come off the bench.
I mean, we're deep. It's just last week it was just too many starters that were out. What's up, Apartment 85? Yeah,
We
we're gonna
beating
beat the
those,
Smurfs.
yeah,
We're gonna beat the Smurfs. I think so. If not, we've got a real problem.
yeah.
I mean, it's at home. There's a lot of trash talking going on by Charlotte, but the rest of the league is dogging on them today on Twitter. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
definitely.
But you have to think with this team getting healthy, you have and playing Charlotte, you have the luxury of being able to ease some of these guys in. The last thing we want is someone like Almada coming in and getting injured because he's not fully fit. I know he's been practicing with someone out in Argentina, and now he's back here. But I don't think that we need to start him. It would be great to not have Tyler Wolff starting the game, but he's probably going to, at least for a little while, until maybe Mulroney is fully fit. I think this was the first time Mulroney's practiced, so I think it's very unlikely that he even sees the field, to be honest with you. But I would love to see someone else besides Wolf be on that wing right now, because we know that we're out with Aruju. We're out for a while. I mean, maybe Moreno comes in and plays on the wing, and Almada plays on the other wing. I mean, it could be like that. And then maybe you just start a Josedu and Sadic in the sun. You keep the same midfield except plug Alonso in. You could just do that, keep the same midfield, and play these two guys on the wing to at least give Joseph some type of help. Maybe someone to get him the ball, because Lennon on the wing, he looked okay, but again, there just wasn't enough getting to Joseph. And I listened to other podcasts this week, and they're all getting worried about Joseph as well. And I don't know. I don't know what it is. It could just be early in the season. It could be, he hasn't had the full array of weapons. He had Aruju. He got
It
him the
feels that
ball.
way. It feels that way. I mean, well, you kind of lacked like that connection between the midfield and the basically Joseph last game. I mean, against Colorado, we barely had any like, actual plays, as a team going forward, where you were like, the midfield was like, doing that transition from defense to offense. But I mean, we rarely saw that.
Yeah, I mean, they were fancy. I know Doug Robertson tweeted something like, if they try to do one more back flick, the guy should be benched the next game. I mean, that was like their go-to play. They kept trying it over and over. Hey, and it worked with Joseph Aruju in the first game. So maybe they really think that that's a set play, but it just didn't. It looked like losing Alonso and really having to change the formation around and move Campbell back there. It was just something that they weren't going to be able to recover from. Not having Sosa available as well. I mean, having both those guys out, it's hard for any team to recover from that. Colorado was probably due. I mean, they got embarrassed in Champions League, and then they lost, their opener. So, I mean, they were healthy pretty much overall. So, I don't want to look too much into early season things, because we didn't have our guys. We already knew we had some guys out. We were shocked that our defensive midfielder was gone, who's in my opinion, he was probably the second MVP behind Gutman week one.
Yeah.
I thought he was fantastic and really controlled the play. So you miss these guys, it's going to happen. Whatever. We're healthy this week, and now the question is we've got all these toys to play with. We've got all these guys to put on the field. Who's gonna be the starting lineup? And then after that, it's then like, okay, as long as we're healthy, after that week we get Robinson back. I mean, I guess one of my worries was that we weren't going to get an Alonso or Sosa back, and Campbell was going to have to play that exact same
Mm.
position again, and then we were going to have DeJohn probably and Franco, and Franco was just he was out of position, all over the place, and he just looked bad. So like it's getting all these guys back there. I think we're going to be great. You guys think we will be able to
Yeah,
bounce back? Yeah,
Department 85.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, with the bad team and a performance, you're probably gonna it's probably gonna look a little rough early on because you're gonna see some of these guys getting used to each other, especially if we see quite a few new guys come in. But if we see Moreno start the game, I think immediately we're going to be a better team. Moreno hasn't started all season. He's come in, and when he has come in, the team has seen a spark every single time. So
You,
Moreno is going to need to is the guy that I really think is going to be running that midfield to move things forward.
yeah, hopefully he does get the minutes. And I mean, that foot injury, I mean, like we talked about this earlier, before, but like you said, I mean, with that foot injury, I mean, it's just tricky. I mean, he's gotten minutes, but not to the point where, he's gotten more than 60 minutes a game. But something that I was curious about is like when we're talking about the roster basically that we have, and what basically referring to what Apartment 85 was saying, if we're able to bounce back after a loss, I mean Atlanta United has the squad and has the depth, to basically go toe to toe with any team in MLS. I mean that's why they spend so much money. If anything, I feel like Atlanta United is the team that's got the most pressure to actually do something, this season and go all the way, win MLS Cup or Supporter Shield, whatever. I don't really care about Supporter Shield, honestly. I really don't. I mean, that's just. But the real thing, it's either MLS Cup or US Open Cup, and getting into the CONCACAF Champions League. But I feel like they'll be able to get back into the groove and just deal with the pressure. Last season I feel like it was just a young unexperienced team. A lot of these guys hadn't even played in MLS before. Now we got experience with guys like Gutman, guys like Alonso. So I mean that's got to help. And then Dirty Ribs, do y'all think we can get
It's
Harris from
NFL
Rom?
draft talk. We got NFL draft talk in here.
He kind of threw me off just now. I was like, what?
No, I don't.
Harris out of
I don't know. Maybe. Too early to talk draft. Too early here. I mean, if we want to talk about any football, let's talk about gambling and Calvin Ridley. But we don't want to get there right now. We don't want to bet that Harris goes with the second pick, but I bet you Ridley does. But yeah, I mean, this is a new week. This is what we've been waiting for this roster to get to where it is. I know we're still missing our last DP here, but it's going to be fun. And like, let's we look at the roster and it's just who's going to play on the wings. That's going to be the major thing here. I think is who's going to get there because we need
The left
someone.
wing, I feel like it's more. I mean, depending on here, Kyle said earlier, getting Lennon back to being the right back and Hernandez out the lineup, and
I like
Hernandez in my.
Hernandez. I don't know why people don't like Hernandez.
I mean he's not the best right back, but I mean he's okay,
I mean,
average in my opinion.
tell me what Lennon. I like Lennon. So let me.
I mean, Leonard's not all that. I mean, he is. I'll say they're both almost right. I'll say Ronald's probably a little bit underneath, Lennon when it comes to being in the actual right back position. But I
Lennon's
don't know.
predictable. That's my problem. Like everybody
Yeah,
knows,
yeah.
Lennon's going to run up on the right side, and then he's going to stop for 6 minutes, and then he's going to cross the ball into the box where everybody's waiting for it. Me being dramatic here, but I mean, like, it's just so predictable on what we see from him, that he's got to change things up, and I just don't see it. And I like Lennon. I think that he could be good, but he's got to think faster and make plays quicker than what he's been doing. I think to be able to be productive, and I'm not sure if we're gonna see that from him this year. I'm hoping under Pineda long enough that he's going to make some changes. It was obviously things had to be moved around because of injuries, and he started at wing. Kind of predicted that he was going to play there, but like I wasn't sure if he was going to produce. He did okay. Um, he did all right, but you know, I don't know. I'm just not sure what he's gonna do this season. If he learns, how to make the play faster, we'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of like I feel knowing as well. Basically, reading the opponent. I mean, I feel like Pineda. Hopefully, he's able to, adjust to that. Where if it's a team that's gonna attack like more down the wings, obviously you would want to have like the best defensive, defensive minded right back. So like you said, I mean, he's got plenty of tools to work with now, and it's just a matter of getting the results, getting into rhythm, and just going from there, basically.
I mean, Charlotte's midfield is terrible.
Yeah,
It's not very good, and this reminds us
trash.
of Sporting Kansas City. I mean, Sporting Kansas City. I mean, we got a guy fired, kicked off the roster because he was so bad. So,
Yeah.
like, you take that and you say, okay, well, we should be able to dominate in that midfield, especially if we get a Moreno playing there, or I mean, just even with Josedu and Sadic, I think that we'd be fine with those two guys in the midfield for right now. Let's move Moreno up front. And let's move Amada on the wing. Maybe he comes in late. Who knows? But I'm fine with maybe even starting with something close to what we started with last week. Even with Lennon possibly on the wing again, and then bringing Amada in late. I think that this roster could be able to do that, and then slowly bring these guys in. I don't know if we're going to see anybody jump into that starting lineup, but who knows? Amada came in and played that preseason game after playing with them for practicing for 2-3 days, maybe 2 days, and then came in and started the preseason game.
I
So
feel like he
who knows?
starts. I mean, the matter of the fact that he's actually training with the team. If he was training alone, then yeah, I would understand, But I mean, I feel like he should be good to go as a
But it's
starter,
been one
honestly.
day. It's been one
Yeah.
day. Like I don't know. Like he practiced yesterday by himself, and now he's playing. Practiced with the team today. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see how much he learned while playing with them. Down in Mexico. That'll be interesting to see. Maybe that's enough, and maybe he's that fit. That'll be there. But this is such a big time for Atlanta because there's been so much pressure on the DPS, right? Like this has
Mm.
been getting the DPs to produce. And Aruju has done pretty good overall. I mean, obviously he's had his issues, especially being disappearing in second halves and not really producing. But I think that, and I see Almada's going to be wasted on the wing. I think we're going to see him there at points. I think
He
I
he.
think
I
he can
mean,
play everything.
yeah, he's got the versatility, to play basically at both wings and in the middle. If I mean, I haven't seen him play. I've just seen highlights. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen a full game. I really don't have access to the Argentinian league like that, but I know he's versatile enough to play all three positions. I mean, and if he's good as how they picture it, I mean, he should have absolutely no problem. I mean, he's one of the biggest incoming transfers in MLS, basically, as I think MLS
As
even
Pity
rated it.
Martinez, you want to say Pity Martinez?
Yeah, that's why that's why I was like, quote unquote, because I'm like, I mean, we gotta see, man. We just really gotta see what the kids got, when he just goes out on the field. I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's all you could see. But like,
uh,
this is going to be when he gets out there, it's going to be big for a lot of reasons. I mean, we've been waiting forever. There's been a lot of expectation on him. This transfer's literally been talked about forever now, since last summer, right? We had that, and then obviously all the other stuff we're not going to get into, but all the other things that came out about him, so now it's time for him to hit the field. He's finally here after feels like a month of trying to get a green card. So
mm,
this is a big moment for Atlanta. They definitely need him to produce quickly. I think he needs to get. Uh, he definitely needs to make a good first impression for this team. I don't think
Yeah.
he's going to get booed. I think there's a few people out there that still have already made their mind on what he is. I was down in tailgating, and I talked to a few people that I've met on the internet, and um, asked them about what they thought of Amada. Most of them were pretty positive on it, but I think that there'll still be a group of people that might boo him. But that's why I said it's important for him to make a good first impression, because I think that production is going to definitely help out with some of it, but it seems like a lot of the other things have died down a little bit, and I think people have done their research a little bit more about it. So
Yeah.
I definitely think that's that as well. I think there was a lot of knee jerk reactions.
There was a lot of
Um,
misled information, honestly, and by like I mean big newspaper, honestly, and
since the beginning,
yeah,
of the
yeah,
situation, from my understanding, like there's just constant misinformation that's been about it, and it just spiked on from there. And like that's kind of what this world has all been about right now. It's just constant miscommunication all over the board. So, I look at this situation for the club and say, all right, this kid's going to get a fresh start here. He's done everything right so far with the club. He's apologized for things. He's here. Let's embrace him. His first home game is going to be this week. And, if he could score, if he comes off the bench, even if he comes off the bench in the 70th minute and scores, just as a substitute, man, that place is going to go crazy.
yeah,
Because this is the future, right? This is the future of the season. Is, we've been waiting for a full DP group, right? We've been waiting for it. And, Moreno has been great. I know he was a DP for a while, but like we've got young guns on the sides of Joseph. Who knows what Joseph still is? But Araujo and him, when they both hit the field, hopefully in April, it's going to be a hot team to watch.
yeah. Um, getting to the Sunday game, to the actual game. What do you think? Prediction wise, when it comes to the outcome of the game, what do you expect out of Atlanta United? I mean, when it comes to the game, the result, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I would hope that we don't allow them to score their first goal against us. That'd be fun not to be that team.
Yeah, it's
Um,
gonna be in their highlights forever.
yeah, I'm expecting 4-0, 4-0 win
Oh,
Atlanta.
bold. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah. I mean,
So
I'm being aggressive.
when he scores his first goal is when yeah, well, Mata, yeah, basically. I feel like I feel like he should be good. The talent's there, so hopefully, he shows it against Charlotte. I mean, I know that their DP just came from Europe. Well, that guy from Poland. Oh, I don't even know how to pronounce his name honestly, but
He's not going to
um,
play though, I assume, right?
I don't think so. I don't.
I don't think. I think he
I
just
don't
got
think so.
signed. So if there's green, I think there's a green card issue. Then he'll be here in like a month.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was actually like presented in the team or like like in the actual team. But I mean, uh, they've. I don't know, man. They're just a team that honestly is not well put together. That's really the issue when it comes to that. Like you see them actually try to play good ball and everything. They have somewhat of an idea like what the coach wants them to do, but at the end, like they just don't have the quality players to do that. I went to their preseason game here in Charleston. They lost against Charleston Battery. I saw that the game last week against the Galaxy, and same thing. I mean, they have somewhat of an understanding like what they want to do, but it's the quality is just not there.
Um, you know, Josh brings up a good point. That maybe that they come in and they park the bus and just don't want to get embarrassed. And
Yeah,
let's all think here that that is a common strategy that honestly has worked against Atlanta United at home, is parking the bus and seeing if teams could get through it. Um, but I mean, I see their coach is big on this game. Yeah, I mean it's they started this rivalry before the team even existed, right? As soon as they announced it, they said we are going to be, we're hotter than Atlanta or whatever BS that they, BS tagline that they gave, whatever. But like, this is going to be, hopefully it's a start of a good rivalry, right? Like we need a rival around here, and we don't have one. And I still don't count Orlando as a real rival because
It's not. It's really
the
not because
pandemic,
it's been really
team
so
didn't exist.
lopsided. I mean, that like I feel like a rivalry is a game like, where the games are just close, man. Like a 4-3, like a 2-3. No, I just said the same thing. Well, no, 4-3 or 4, like a close score game, high scoring, or whether it's not a high scoring game, it just has that intensity where, both teams just want to go at it. And I mean, we know the fans are going at it. We know that for sure. And the admins on Twitter and all that. But and whoever's in charge of the Atlanta United website, man, they're wrong. They're wrong for that.
It's fun. I mean, you got to do something to make a rivalry, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it's fun. And Atlanta still doesn't have a local rival yet. Like Miami could be a huge disaster. I think they're going to be a disaster here for a while.
You thought Nashville was gonna be that, but
Well, they're gone. I mean, they're already
yeah, that's
gone. I mean, that was just a temporary thing. And Nashville's good. Like they have their own style of play, and I hate Nashville so much. I hate their hockey team. Now I hate their soccer team. It's just I don't know. I think that they're a boring team, but sometimes boring teams win games. So let them stay out west and dominate over there, and we'll see them once a year from there.
I mean, they should be. When is that new expansion team coming in? St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, St.
So
Louis.
I don't know whether they're gonna rearrange that. I mean, I'm just guessing, but you would think that they will bring Nashville back into the Eastern Conference if that happens. So, um, just like says Nashville would be a good rival. Yeah, I mean
I mean, they got
that's
a
what I'm
big
saying.
stadium. I think
Yeah,
it's going to be the largest.
in the U.S. soccer specific. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it's better than that shitty field that they're playing on right now for the Titans. So that's going to be nice to see that, and having packed houses in Atlanta and Nashville, and games it would be fun to watch, and Nashville shows up, and especially, I mean, we saw them last year. Their fans showed up pretty good, and then we also saw them. I mean, in hockey, I'm a big hockey fan. Their fans show up. Their fans are rowdy.
Yeah.
I've gone to a couple of their games, and I've almost gotten some fights with some of their fans because they're
Yeah, tell me,
almost,
I didn't expect you to be like that, man.
no, like people just start like they're almost like a soccer team. Their
Damn.
hockey, they're like they have their own chants. Like they have specific chants they pass out to everybody
Uh,
at specific times, and then they just play so much country music. And I despise country music. Like that makes me want to punch people. So it's like the worst place to watch a hockey game for if you hate country music, it's a bad place. So it's not a good place for Tommy.
mm, yeah, St. Louis will go into the West because MLS wants the Minnesota and Sporting Kansas City rivalry for marketing. Yeah, I mean
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
yeah. Yeah. Honestly, man, now getting outside of the subject out of Atlanta United and the Charlotte, game that's gonna be going on this weekend. Man, you know who has impressed me low key, but yet again, they've played crappy teams as Austin, man. Austin, they're looking pretty good, man. I don't know if you've seen their games or like the highlights, man. They're
Five
looking pretty
nothing each,
solid.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, no, I think no other team has basically scored 10 goals in the first two games in like all 27 seasons of MLS. So I mean,
I've learned with
obviously,
MLS, you cannot even look at the first half of the season. You can't win. You can't win. You know, I mean, I guess you can win Supporter Shield by having a hot start, but like it's always the team that's hot at the end of the season, and like literally just like the last month of the season. Usually those teams go in hot, they end up winning the whole thing. I mean, look at New York, right? They hadn't scored a goal in like 5 games, and then they come to Atlanta, score that tying goal, and then they go win MLS Cup. Like I don't know, I'm not getting too excited. Again, you said look at the opponents they played.
yeah.
Um, I mean, I don't know. I don't get too excited, even with Atlanta. Like I know I joke around like we're winning MLS Cup after that week 1 win, but I just, it's a long season and there's ups and downs. And see me after the summer transfer window. That's really, I'm just going to stick to this, and I'll probably say this every single week. It's like, look at the squad right now. Look how deep we are, right? Like, we might not be deep on the wing, but we've got some guys that could play the wing, and obviously with Marini coming back, and we can move guys from, Almada and Moreno. We can move those guys to the wing as well. If we have this U22 spot open in the summer transfer window, we could add whatever position we need and just get deeper. Like, that's money in the bank. I don't think they're going to fill it, and I honestly, I don't know if we should. Like, we can't bring in a DP in the summer, unless we could somehow get a fake ID for. Oh my gosh, what's that? I know we have the U22 spot. No, oh my gosh, Miggy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we get a fake ID for Miggy and bring him in to pretend like he's under 22, like, that'd be great. But we have that position open, so let's keep it. I am all for keeping it open until the summer, and let's see what comes up, because I don't think there's a lot left right now. I don't think there's a lot of talk. So we can't sign a proper goalkeeper. Like, I understand that people want to talk about. This is a whole other conversation. Guzan is Guzan, and unless he retires at the end of the season, we are going to see this contract go through. He's going to play the contract out. I don't even think they would buy him out. I don't even know if this organization has the balls to be able to buy him out of this. We already saw what happened at the draft, right? Like, they could have just left him unprotected. I don't think Charlotte would have taken him, and everything would have been gravy. But they did. And I don't think there's any rules. This isn't like the NHL or the NBA where you can't, like during expansion drafts, you can't draft players with no move clauses. Like, that doesn't exist in MLS, from my understanding. So it was probably a gentleman's agreement. But Guzan's here. Like, I don't know. Like, he's going to have games where he's just on fire, right? Like, at the end of the season, there were some games where if it wasn't for Guzan, we would have blown more leads than what we had. He was fantastic that second half of the season until he wasn't in the playoffs, where he made, a real dumb mistake there, where that ball got deflected and he just totally misplayed it. But I digress. I mean, it is what it is. We're not getting Guzan out of here. Was it Shuttlesworth? Is that our backup? I mean, we'll see what he gets some time. I was listening to Mounts of the South, and they were talking about it, like maybe that he might, possibly we might see him not start every game. It's hard for me to believe that they actually would bring in the backup to start any games that aren't Open Cup at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree. The goals last week were all conceded from Franco. I mean, he was I've been calling him the Maguire. He played like Harry Maguire, like last week, like just slow, out of place, missing everything. He was terrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know he was technically a DP for a couple months until then we bought him down, but honestly, that wasn't even the guy that we really wanted to begin with, right? Like, he was kind of like I think the third place, like the third guy, like he was the backup to the backup, defensive signing. So I thought he played very well at the end of last season. So I can't talk too much bad about him. He started terrible last season, and everybody kind of questioned, like, who is this guy? Why is he playing so bad? And then mid-season, he got better. So, again, it was his week 1. If he plays bad week 2, then I'm concerned. And at least knowing that he's got Campbell back there as opposed to DeJohn, I feel a little bit more comfortable, with this game, and it being Charlotte, of course. But yeah, it should be interesting. Yeah, we could see a little Alan Franco action, on Sunday. So I did get confused when I heard that they had Alan Franco. So yeah, I mean, we've got some options. I know we're kind of just rambling here. We don't have too much to talk about. We don't want to talk about last week, but I mean, we're deep. this is I don't think anybody here can say that besides the first, the second and third season, this is the deepest squad we've ever had.
Yeah,
And
it
truly,
has to
like,
be.
a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago, we weren't very deep. I know some people thought we were, and then some people said we were deep last year, and I didn't really see a lot of that. Like,
Nah,
I know they had
nah.
Hernandez, but like this is a deep squad, and I know people. I heard some people questioning it on another podcast. It's like no, it's like when the backups also hurt, like when Sosa's out and Alonso's out, of course, any team's going to struggle when your backup is also out that same game. So you can't really, be too worried about it, especially early on. Like no team in MLS with the way that the roster structure is has a good backup to the backup. You know what I mean? Like that,
Right.
it's just hard to
Yeah.
do. I mean, go
Yeah.
back to 2019, you go look at those playoffs, like every one of our center backs were hurt. Like Miles was out, Parkhurst played for a little bit, then Parkhurst got hurt. Parkhurst was like playing on one leg. I don't even remember who else was hurt on our defensive side, but like everybody was getting hurt left and right. Like it's hard to be able to keep a deep squad with that, unless you got a bunch of U22 players. I mean, our back situation, we do have backups to the backups. I think we've learned that. Like our left to right back. I mean, especially since they're so interchangeable, we are very deep there. But our midfielders are getting pretty deep right now. And now all we got to do is maybe get a little bit more depth on the wing that could score. Like I like Joel. I like I like Wolf. I think that they're okay. Maybe they have a future at some point in time, but I don't think that time's right now. Maybe Chol. We haven't seen Chol this season, so maybe he got better. But I don't think Chol's. I don't think either one of these guys are an answer. I don't feel comfortable being down a goal with all our guys tired and be able to bring these two guys in and say, "All right, we got a chance to tie in the game." It's just not going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, Tommy, I mean, I don't have anything else to add other than we about to whip some ass Sunday. 4-0, like you said. Yeah, that's a good score. I like 4-0. So I think that's what the score will be 4-0. Um honestly, I don't know, man. I just feel bad for Charlotte. I hope
Let's
really,
not talk too much trash.
no,
Let's
no, 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 no. When they come, not because of Sunday, but like I feel bad because of the fact that really, I mean, they have support, man. When it comes to like the fans, I mean, we saw that last week. But I feel like the administration is just, I mean, I was looking at the ticket prices, man. Their cheapest tickets are like $90+. I mean, we're talking about like second level like seating. And I mean, I just hope that, for MLS, they're not another Cincinnati 2.0. So,
We're very
y-
lucky with what we've had so far.
yeah,
Like this team is very
seriously.
lucky. I mean, Nashville. I mean, we obviously seen Nashville come in and dominate. Minnesota's had their periods, but I mean, we've been very lucky that we've had a big, um, a great start to the
Yeah.
franchise. So it's
From like the expansion teams, I mean, I feel like the three biggest that have had the most success, Seattle, Atlanta, and LAFC, without a doubt, have well, LAFC really haven't capitalized when it comes to the titles, but I mean, they're up there too.
yeah. It's we're lucky, and we're lucky we're not Cincinnati, and I mean,
Yeah.
they've had like 13 coaches since they
Or
came into the
Miami.
league, right? Yeah, and Miami, I mean, they brought in some players, but like they're trying to do this model where they're going to go bring in, a bunch of 90-year-old guys to play. Yeah, the twos are playing tomorrow. I'm excited to see what they have. It's hard for me to get behind the twos because at least how they were coached last season, nobody consistently played like on that team. McFadden was, he actually played a lot. Like everybody else, it was like everyone was in and out of the lineup, and like this is where we talked about before. I would love to see Conway starting for the twos tomorrow. I'd like to see Conway starting for the twos every week, but I don't think it's going to happen. But that's what I would like to see. I would like to see him become a consistent scorer and a consistent player, and seeing that time because we're just ruining his development right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, Tommy. Well, next week, man, we're gonna catch up on, basically what's, happened with this game. We got Cypher here, saying about Mejia and Cobb, for the twos. I mean, he is a big name that I've heard a lot, but I really haven't watched his game, but I mean, I really heard big things from him from Jason. I think last time he was on here, I think he mentioned him as well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, man.
the future's looking great. Last one we'll hear. If
Yeah.
Joseph doesn't score, would you be concerned? I'm starting to get there. We don't see the speed of Joseph anymore, and he just moves back. He comes back, so far into the play.
It depends
But
on the chances or the good quality chances that he gets as well. I mean, obviously he's not going to be having tap-ins every single or penalties every single game, but you would want to give him good quality chances. I mean, we know that once he's in front of goal that he's able to put it in the back of the net. It's just being able to get it to him, in a good position. But like you said, I mean, I'm not really personally concerned, but if it comes to a span of more than 3-4 games, I feel like we we would want to see what's really going on. I mean, if the knee is just not given, not there anymore, but
Pineda
I don't
said
know.
that today in his comments to the press that he wanted to make sure that Joseph is making the right decisions and has talked to him about that. Not just trying to create chances, but actually, making some of his own and scoring. So it's a perfect opportunity to do it. We probably won't see who got drafted. Why am I having a restart here? Who did they take from us? Who did Charlotte take from us?
Anton Walks.
He's not starting. He just got back from injury, so he might, come in as a substitute. But this is the opportunity for Joseph to get on the board. So if he doesn't, I would be a little bit concerned for sure. But Joseph's playing for his next contract. I know he wants a contract extension already, but he's got like 2-3 years left on it after this. So I don't. He's playing. He's playing for his future of a contract. So he's got to start doing something quick.
Yeah. All right, Tommy, man. Well, I'm gonna see you next week, man. Hopefully, like I said, we bust some ass this week. So, see you next week, man. Take care, dude. And to all the ones that were on here on the chat too, and that the ones that are gonna be seeing this video too. Thank you to you guys. Share our content out. Follow us. Tommy, you wanna? I don't know what's your Twitter, but you can say it out, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's go Ducks 96. Oh, I'm trying to point the arrow the wrong way.
Yeah.
But also,
it was down there. I don't even. I'm so stupid.
But yeah, check us out on. I do post game with Dirty South Soccer.
Yeah,
man.
man.
We do a really cool Twitter Spaces where anybody wants to come in and trash talk the game. We had some people that were very depressed last week, but the week before everybody was flying high and screaming and singing on the Twitter Spaces. So come check us out and make sure you click the button and talk to us. It only works out if people want to talk.
Yeah. All right, dude. All right, man. I'll see you next week, dude.
See you guys.